What's up, fellow Patriots, and fellow Grizzlies? Wow, I don't know why all of a sudden it just became so heavy to talk about. But we'll delve into the politics side of it, but let me just kind of get the main idea, the whole concept of what I'm trying to help y'all to see. So, the Heavenly Father sent a revelation to my husband. He foresaw this event. And actually, I've been looking at other YouTubers, and there were a couple of other brothers out there who also got spot on revelations on the event that took place yesterday in Philadelphia. With that being said, yesterday I was sitting on my bed and I was like, man, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna go get me some grub, get in my car, got my kiddos in the car. Simultaneously, my husband and my eldest daughter came running up to the driver's side in a very clear state of panic, and I was like, huh? And their panic was enough to throw me quite a bit off. And I was like, what happened? I thought something happened to a family member, etc., because that's the kind of response that happens out of something like that. And then all of a sudden, they break the news that former President Trump had an attempt on his life, or attempted assassination. And I was like, wow. And then I got kind of mad at first, because I was like, don't prank me. Because one thing about my husband and my eldest daughter, they love to be sarcastic. They love to kid around. And I'm like, don't play with me right now. Just don't. And so I was like, y'all are playing. Don't mess with me. And so oh no. So basically, to sum things up, they were like, no, we're dead serious. He just got shot at. And I immediately parked the car, got off, looked into this, saw the footage of where the assailant, if you will, shot 5 rounds basically at former President Trump's head. And and my husband and my daughter were like, he got hit and we don't know if he's gonna make it. The amount of panic in their voices was surreal. And I'm like, well, where did they hit him? So when I got down and I reviewed the footage from a few of these fake news outlets, that's when I saw it only clipped this part of his ear. And so I saw residue on his cheek and things like that. And I'm like, here's one of two things. A, it's residue. It's just blood from his ear. He's going to have it cleaned off. Or B, it could be, in fact, something from the bullet that grazed his ear. And he could indeed need stitches. But either way, he's okay. One of the most notable things is that President Trump was looking at something, and that's what helped President Trump survive the ordeal. And the even crazier thing is that I was hungry, so after I did all my investigating and all that, came back to the car, got back in the car, got buckled up. And in the middle of my buckling up, I got a revelation from the Heavenly Father. And I just could see what looked like these fluorescent big old letters saying divine intervention. And I was like, huh, Divine intervention. Let me think about this. What the heck does this mean? Spiritually, on a spiritual level. Oh my goodness, God and his angels. That is exactly what it means. The Heavenly Father had his hand upon former President Trump. And not only did the former President Trump have God's hand over him, he had divine intervention from basically God's angels. Now, one of the most miraculous things that I will say about God's angels is that when they are around you, you will know, because you have like supernatural encounters and, you know, things that are not really of the world happen to you amidst your presence while you are in the presence of the Most High. And so I'm like, oh my God, divine intervention. It was God and the angels that literally interceded amidst the pure chaos that took place at this rally. Now, former President Trump's ear was grazed. I don't know what type of procedure and what all took place there, but I know Secret Services and paramedics took him right away, and it was really fast. And glory be to God that he's gonna be okay. Okay. But prior to that, so prior to my revelation, my husband had a revelation about the event that took place. And he was frustrated beyond recognition, because he's like, how do I convey this without sounding like a crazy person? You know what I mean? And so I'm like, well, don't do nothing, because they could flip the script really quick. Just let God put his hand on the situation. And I just somehow knew, because he went into detail, perfect detail of everything that transpired yesterday. And it really threw me for a loop. But then the thing that really concerns me is that he took it a step further by adding, in this revelation, I also saw that there was some type of a chef or a cook that tries to put something lethal in the food. And so I feel like he's gonna have to fire a cook in order to ensure his safety. And then he even went further by saying that the youngest arrived where his dad was to retrieve the food, yada yada yada, and before you know it, it was just too late. And then that's when he woke up and the revelation ended. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, the only way for us to intercede, or, you know, would be to get involved in the campaign. Number one. Number two, it's not exactly something that you can just be like, yo, X, Y, and Z, and it's without further measure. You know what I mean? Now, these are, this was a spiritual revelation from the Heavenly Father. Okay? And within the hour that everything transpired is when I got my revelation about the divine intervention. How the Heavenly Father and his angels interceded what happened yesterday. And so I believe that the Secret Service members that were there, kind of smothering him, kind of put a So he dropped down to the ground because Secret Service, I don't want to say smothered, but surrounded, I think, is a more appropriate way to say it. They surrounded him. He fell down to the ground. Obviously, he was injured, so he was in some type of pain. But at the same time, he dropped down in prayer. He asked the Heavenly Father to reach out to him and to protect him for the remainder of what was going on. And the angels, I believe, acted like some type of a shield. Oh my gosh, it's so immensely difficult to explain this. Like, yes, the bullet grazed this part of his ear, and simultaneously he was looking away. And glory be to God for that, because that's what missed his head. You know what I mean? Remember, you're forgetting that there were 5 rounds that were shot before the assailant got shot at. And so glory be to God. The divine intervention was there. Glory be to God that the Heavenly Father genuinely had his hand over the former President Trump. Thank God that, Secret Services, again, surrounded him and protected him. I am so grateful the Secret Service nonetheless took out the assailant and protected the former president. Now, let's move into the political side of this, because both my husband and I had revelations about the event that took place yesterday. Because former President Trump is a man of faith. And I know y'all have heard this a dime a dozen times. You cannot play with children of the king. Or let me rephrase that. You cannot play with sons and daughters of the Most High. Because we know who we are. Whoo! Wow. We know who we are. And more than that, we are heavily protected on a spiritual level that supersedes any understanding of the things of this world. Meaning, the Heavenly Father, His angels, they are all around us at all times. So as sons and daughters of the King, of the Most High, we are constantly under that protection of the Heavenly Father. And I just gotta say, it was like a wow moment. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anybody who knows anything about guns could instantaneously tell you basically that it was a sniper rifle, which is the weapon that was being used by the assailant, right? And then obviously Secret Services just utilizes it. I'm being tongue-tied. Secret Services obviously utilizes regular sniper guns. But what I think is most interesting is typically it's only law enforcement and military that have access to those types of guns. So how did this... I know it's going to sound really jacked up to say, but how did this nobody get their hands on a sniper rifle? Security, my bad, yo. So he was definitely, the revelation that I got within the hour was divine intervention. And let me tell you, God showed up and showed out to the entire world, the entire nation, God's angels made it really clear to make it clear to y'all so that you guys can see that he is still alive, that these angels and the Heavenly Father are very much alive and very much real and very much here. And like I always have said, and I'm going to continue to say, we know who we are. We are sons and daughters of the Most High King. And I have always said, you cannot mess around with us because we have protection around us at all times. I believe that this event that took place yesterday served as a testimony of the presence of the Most High King. I believe that between my Heavenly Father and his angels, they want the nation to see his presence. He wants you guys to know that he is here. He is here now, and he is not gonna just turn the blind eye. He is going to make sure that we are okay. And the Most High King, the Heavenly Father, definitely has a plan for former President Trump. He definitely has a plan for America, because he is going to guard this man like a sore thumb. So if y'all think you're gonna walk in the park and it's gonna go well, it's not. He has divine intervention, which means my Heavenly Father has his hand on him. And not only does he have his hand on him, but he has God's angels. That's powerful. And I believe that this unfortunate event took place to allow the entire America, the entire nation as a whole, to witness the presence of the Heavenly Father. I believe that God's angels protected former President Trump. So it serves as an eye-opening experience. It serves to open your eyes, to show you, America, that we, the people, are not alone. Our Heavenly Father, who calls us by name, is very real. And he is very much here. And this is why I have always said you cannot play around with sons and with daughters of the Most High King. Because it doesn't matter the situation that we face, our Heavenly Father and his angels will intercede and deliver. That's amazing. But so now on the political side of things, we got the fake news who's giving this one-way plot, talking about, I can't believe such and such didn't succeed. He's dead now. I cannot believe that the Democratic Party or the extreme leftist activists, whatever you want to call them, is acting in that manner. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. The former President Trump just had an attempt on his life, and you're going to have the audacity to act like you're disappointed. This is how we know that it is the Democratic Party. This is how we know that it is the far leftist extremist activists that had a plot. There's no questions there. It is just right in our faces. And you know what, America? It is time that we put our foot down and let this political party know that their behavior is not okay. They're not fighting for your freedom. You think they give a freaking hoo-ha about you? They don't. They are self-serving activists, self-serving politicians. And this has been for decades. Now, here's the thing. You got to look at the history of the Democratic Party to really, really concretely have your foot through the door. How many of you knew that the Democratic Party was started by the KKK? This big old hate group. And they continue to spread their divisiveness, their childlike attitudes, because they can't handle losses. They can't be regular adults. But what do they turn around and do? They turn criminal. They try to destroy the nation. And I don't know about you, but I am really sick and tired of being sick and tired. I am disgusted at the fact that they proclaim to fight for your rights, but then yet these very people are the same people who are trampling on the rights and freedoms of the American youth and children. So if any political party is a true disgrace, it is the Democratic Party. I think that, there's a few good apples in there, but the evil workers, the dark workers, outweigh the few that are good, who've genuinely given their life for it. Honestly, I've seen over a span of 4 years what these crazies do, from the extreme activists down to the politicians, and I'm sorry, nothing is forthcoming. I believe that a lot of them need to be imprisoned, and the other half of them need to be sanctioned, if not fired, let go of, impeached. Let's just be real here. You don't gotta belong to the left or the right to see that they're trampling over the freedoms and rights of the youth and the children. Let's be a little bit real. Y'all think they care about you, but really underneath it all, they care about the money. They don't care a flipping hoo-ha about you. And that's just keeping it real. They are self-serving politicians and self-serving outrageous activists. For crying out loud, they have torn apart this nation. They are making sure that our children's rights and freedoms are being trampled on. And you guys want to pretend like you have no clue of what's going on. It's right in front of your face. Are you guys waiting for 2030 when it's the complete annihilation of the U.S. Constitution and our freedoms as adults and as parents and men and women are completely removed? Are you wanting to be enslaved? Can you not see what it is? Look, do me a favor. If you think that I'm full of freaking bananas or whatever the hell you want to say, look up the New World Order. Look up Agenda 2030. Look up Project Bluebeam and Project Harper. And then we can have a concrete discussion. Okay? Because these things are very real. And they are actively making way so they can take place. Don't be submissive and scared and filled with fear and anxiety. That's what the Lord paid on the cross. He paid on the cross to remove fear, anxiety, and pains from us. It is time to reinstill the joy of the Lord, and do not let the way of the world torment you. I will say this. I got family who's heavily involved with politics. I got a sister who works for a politician here in the state of Nevada. With that being said,